Hmm. Okay, hi everyone. So, in short, what's gonna happen today, hopefully, is I'm gonna make some kind of system that converts this blue ball into a Dragon Ball in real time and using the camera feed. That's the plan. In real, I don't know how good it's going to end up because I haven't tried anything exactly like this before. And also, I haven't coded like this for a very long time. I think the last time I coded something new like this was around was the Halloween live stream maybe. So since then, I've been teaching mostly Python and C Sharp and other things, and I forgot my web development skills. But it's gonna work out. I'm sure. Some things in the chat there. Hello, everyone, and I don't understand Portuguese. That's probably Portuguese there. I am not 100% sure. And the link to Discord, it should be the one in the channel banner. Somebody was commenting that it's not working for some reason, but I think it should work still. If not, then maybe I'll check it afterwards and update it. Okay, so empty project. I don't have anything here, but I do have this GitHub Copilot enabled because I'm worried I don't remember anymore how to code. So let's see how that goes. Okay. So let's get the structure ready here. Something like that. Hi, and thanks for watching. Confucius, I guess, something to do with Confucius, this old philosopher. Hi. Now, the body, I'm just gonna use a canvas. Wow, this Copilot is doing some crazy stuff here. Oh, let's see if the document works so far. So the title here is updating, and the canvas should be on the screen somewhere. Here. Let's give the title, let's add the title also on the page, maybe a h1 tag. Like so. And now it's appearing there. Let's work a little bit with these styles and have them centered somehow. Okay, and canvas. Something like this. Hello, QWERTY. Hello. Yeah, Okay, so hopefully this is where my camera feed is going to go, and that camera, the one from my laptop there, I'm gonna use that one for coding, and that one is just gonna show the real thing. Okay. So how does this work? Maybe we start off with a little bit of scripting here. Oh, wow. This thing actually is typing for me useful things. So it gets a reference to my canvas. Let's just set it as a const because this is not going to change anymore. And then the context, I typically like to have it shorter because it's going to be appearing again and again all the time. So I like shorter variable names for something like that. It's also obvious what it is. And then it's creating a video element. And I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. Maybe we figure out later. And then, okay, it wants to be working on multiple browsers, so supporting like Safari and other things. Yeah, so reassigning get media, assigning get media to one of these things there. And then requesting video and no audio, and this is fine. And then assigning to this video element a stream from this vendor URL, okay, and playing. Then maybe I should handle the error here somehow. Like so. And here, okay. It wants to already draw the video on the context. So it creates here a new function for that, a helper function for that, passes context as a parameter, and then the width and the height. Yeah, let's just see if this works. And then it does a kind of animation loop here where draw is called again and again and again. Yeah, this might actually work, but it doesn't. It gives some kind of errors. Okay, the overload resolution failed. This might be because it tries to force this resolution somehow. I wonder if this works directly like so. Okay. Okay, well, got it to work somehow. So let's see, we didn't need any more this thing and some error there and then playing here. I guess this works like good enough. Typically I use this request animation frame, but here the timeout is really small, and at the moment I don't do any intense processing and I don't see any difference. So this looks kind of as expected, nothing surprising there. Hello, Damien and Serioso. Yeah, he did. Okay. Hi, Javier. And Darius. Salute. Okay. Now, I think I can work with this. This seems to match my camera specifications there. Typically, I set these to whatever the default camera values are because it's possible that you have a webcam that doesn't support those exact things here, these exact values. So then you may end up with some errors. So maybe something like let's output this also. Okay, and now I broke it. Huh. I'm trying to set it to the video properties here on play, but they are not there yet. It takes a while for them to load. So I need to use this callback here, and that's when I have this metadata available. And here display, I think this is just fine. Do I really need to specify these? Because now I think they both match the size. No, 3 arguments needed for draw image. So at least it needs this 0, 0 to start in the top left corner, I think. Okay, so now this seems to work. And these are extra, not needed anymore. So they are just coming from whatever the camera specifications are. And here this is passing video and context to this draw. Set timeout does that. After the timeout value, the next parameters get passed to whatever function callback is there. Okay, great. But here I want to do something with this. Not just, I mean, after I draw the video image, I want to process this somehow. So like this, and I'm going to write these in a new file because this is already getting way too long there. Some of these can be shortened a little bit. Like so, and this we could use the arrow function notation. Okay, let's see if I broke anything. I think I broke it because I didn't make... uh-huh. What is the problem there? Oh, okay. This attribute changed to whatever is inside of that function there. Okay, still working. I just didn't like whatever code was auto-generated there, so it took some time to clean it up. But I didn't remember some of these things, so it was useful after all. Yeah, okay, Raphael. I remember seeing your comment, but I didn't have time to reply to them. I usually check comments on Friday when I have time. I don't know why it doesn't work. The one in the channel banner should work. So I tested it yesterday, and the one here should work. But if it doesn't, then I'll reply to your comment and maybe fix it somehow. Yeah, when I saw the first Dragon Ball episodes, I was in, I think, second grade, and they were airing on Romanian television, and they were dubbed in Romanian, and it was crazy. It was really, um, really different. Everybody had the same voice, and it was the, I mean, it was Dragon Ball. It wasn't Dragon Ball Z. It was really from the very beginning. And then they didn't have all the episodes. They only had few seasons. And I watched the rest of them in German from this RTL 2 channel, and those went all the way until the end of Dragon Ball. And eventually, they started airing Dragon Ball Z in the evenings. And yeah, my first experience of a good dub was the German dub, and it was funny. Okay, great. Maybe you've seen the link on some older video, and at some point Discord asked to change it, or something. And maybe some old videos have a broken link, so that could be the reason. Okay, so now let's do something with this. Yeah, Akira Toriyama didn't do the anime, really. He did the manga, and the manga doesn't have a Z in it. It's just Dragon Ball. The television series decided to add a Z to distinguish it somehow. Um, he did all of it, and he was involved in all of it, and even now, the last release of the manga in the last weeks, it was one that he contributed to as well, even though it was released after his passing. And this new Dragon Ball Daima that is coming in, is it November maybe, or I don't know, later this year, it's also something that he worked on. But again, it's coming after. Yeah, I could post a link to the Discord in the comments, but I closed it now, and I think that Raphael found the good one. Okay, so I want the function to process and given this context as a parameter. Let's just see if I can do anything here. So this thing wants me to draw a rectangle for testing. Yeah, so it's appearing there on top of that. So seems like this function is being called. But now what I need to know is to figure out if there is a ball in the scene, and then with this ball manipulate it somehow. And I like using these blue balls because there is nothing here in the scene, and that is blue. So I have an easy job in recognizing where the ball pixels are. So let's try to get the pixel data from this, and something like this. It's going to get the image data for the whole canvas, and it has an attribute data that has each individual pixel values. Now this thing wants me to loop through them, and it loops through them 4 by 4. So this is correct because the pixel values, the numbers in this array are grouped in groups of 4, one for red, green, blue, and the transparency is the last one. So I don't know why this is doing an inverted transformation here, but let's just see it work. And reassign it to the context like so. This is just going to invert the image. So it's doing some basic image processing here. For some reason, I'm inverted. Freaky. But I don't want to do that. So I just want to take out the red value, data of I, the green value, data of I plus 1, the blue value is that. And I don't know why it's calculating brightness like that. I do want to take the alpha out. Or no, all of them. All of them have the same alpha value. So now I do have this red component, green component, blue component, and I'm interested in those that have a value for blue that is bigger than red and green, really, because when you show to this okay, in this inverted view, this already starts to look like a Dragon Ball. Maybe the job is done. Wow. Hey, this gives me an idea. I'm gonna invert the pixels that are originally blue, and I'm gonna have everything looking normal except for these that will be inverted. Let's see how that looks like. Funny. Okay, now how to detect those that are blue. We could measure how blue a pixel is by saying maybe blueness. is the difference between it and the red component and the green component. So the bigger the difference between these are, then the more blue something is. This is something we could do. And now we can say that if the blueness is bigger than, let's try 0, but we will need to set the threshold there. Then I'm going to modify the data values. I want to do the inversion, so same as before with all of them. Okay. So now this should do inversion only for those pixels that have a blueness value greater than 0. And if I refresh, some strange stuff is happening because there are some pixels in the scene, like here in the background, that have just a little bit more blue value in them than the others. So because we are comparing that against 0, we get this weird effect. But the ball here is actually orange now, because orange is the inverted color for this blue here. And this is undoubtedly blue, like compared to everything else there. So what we need to do is to have a threshold here. Maybe let's start with something like 10. And it's a little bit better, but actually my shirt seems to fall into this blue thing. There are not artifacts appearing here anymore, but here quite many of them. And also here in the top right, this the wall that is white, but maybe some bluish light is reflecting from it, I don't know. Okay, bigger value, maybe 50. Well, now this looks normal. There are no artifacts here, but if I bring this blue ball, this ball is orange because of what we did before. The inversion for only pixel values that are significantly more blue. Yeah, I don't know if inversion is something I want to do because like typically the light comes from the top, and then this top part of the ball should be lighter than the bottom, and inverting it makes it lighter here at the bottom, so it looks a little bit weird. Yeah, happy little accident like this. Is it Bob Ross or what's his name? Yeah. So there is TensorFlow for JavaScript. I think it's overkill for what we are trying to do, and probably doesn't have some components specifically designed for this kind of easy task. But I have used in the past other libraries, like this OpenCV has methods for detecting circles, for example, or disks in this case. But then again, this is not a circle because my fingers are blocking it in some way. So it's somehow interfering with those. Yeah, I could do that. I could convert the blue value and do a hue shift to that. Let's try. I don't know how to do it anymore. And does this... Let's see if Mr. Copilot knows how to do it. So RGB to HSL, and then okay. It's returning as an array, and the input is the RGB value separately. I believe this is correct, but only one way to know. And we need the return. So, or yeah, we need the return. We need the inverse function, the HSL to RGB, which is automatically being written here, apparently. We need this one because we have to give it back to this data array. So let's try without this blueness. I'm just curious if everything gets shifted. So HSL, we do that. RGB. Let's try first just this to see if whatever we get back without any shift in the hue is going to be the same result as before. Sometimes these functions have some kind of weird artifacts, and it's good to debug. Seems like I look normal, and seems like everything is still fast, so still real time. I don't know about tracking.js. I haven't used that one. I'm sure there are many things out there, and they work. But for what I need today, it's overkill. And actually, I did try something. I tried the hand tracking in TensorFlow when I made this self-driving car phase 3. In the intro of that course, there is me driving with my hands and some blue markers in my hands or something like that. And that's done with a very similar thing as what I'm doing today to detect the blue markers, but then also that to detect that there are two things and to figure out the tilt, the angle between them. I tried also using TensorFlow for it because I was curious how good it recognizes my hands and how fast it was. And the problem is it's too slow. It was, I mean, I wanted to turn to the right and then it would turn, but few frames after, and then I would crash. So really sometimes these simple things are better for some things. Of course, I would not need to have any other blue thing in the scene, so the hand tracking has some advantages there too. Yeah, but anyway, back to this. So this works. How about if I shift the hue? So the idea was that now I'm sure that these values are something bigger than that, so maybe let's try this. Okay. For some reason, I'm black and white. Does it really expect these values to be small for some reason? Okay, now my face is blue. And what happens to this? Okay, this is orange again, but with a new method. So this is a new technique now to get it orange. I just guessed here, like pure luck, this value. Now it's purple. I'm green. I kind of look like Hulk. So there's that. But yeah, this is how the hue shift method seems to work, and it's definitely something we can use. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can. I mean, the live stream should be there, like all others, uh, somewhere. Mm. It's gonna be here in the live section somewhere on the channel, and all others can be seen there as well. Um, they don't appear normally where the videos are on the channel, so you need to go to this section here, and that's where you can find these live streams. Yeah, I assumed that there's some normalization here, but I didn't read these functions, to be honest. I just assumed that whatever is happening is correct. And looks like the values are indeed normalized, so they um, yeah, putting a background image of a Dragon Ball. Yeah, I don't think it's overkill. I don't think it's overkill. I think, yeah. So do you mean that I would maybe make the pixels transparent with the alpha, and then the background image would be behind them? Yeah. Hmm? That could work, definitely. Let's try that too. But here, when we do the hue shifting, we could still do the same thing as before. So let's see what happens. Uh, we have this inverting code here from before, and I don't need it anymore. But only do the shifting when this blueness is relatively high. This should give us this effect, similar as before. A little bit artifacts here on the top of the ball for some reason. But yeah, and the value for shifting here was 0.5 to get it to be orange. And it's nice. Um, yeah, that would be better, probably. That would be better if I would make it work like that. So do this HSL transformation first, and then, but with these normalized values, I just don't know what would be a good range for it, and I already found something that kind of works. Mm, so I think I'm going to just stick with this. It's pretty okay. Let's try also setting the pixels transparent, this other idea, this Raphael is mentioning. So in this case, you would not necessarily make the colors different, but data of I plus 3 would be 0. So it's like that. And then adding an image of the Dragon Ball behind it. It is the ball from the pendulum thing. Mhm. I have it now here. It is the ball from the pendulum thing. I didn't plan to have any stream nowadays. I finished this work on the self-driving car course, and I also have like a bunch of tutorials in this scheduling mode. So I have things that are appearing until September, basically, and I'm on a break from coding. But I wanted to do something now. I thought, what can I do? And then I realized in my office that I have these balls and Dragon Balls. Uh, that's how the idea came. But okay, so these are now transparent pixels, the ones that are blue there, right? So can I figure out their coordinate? And then I've been on a break for a long time. I think I finished recording those lessons quite a long time ago. Uh, well, I'm doing my normal job, teaching in class, and planning lessons, and I'm doing much more exercise and playing with my kid and things like that. So I needed a break, and I have it now. Okay, we need to get the average location. So of these blue pixels. For that, we need the location of each blue pixel. So maybe x is equal to... Yeah, that's about right. And I could get these locations in an array and then do some reduce on the array, but I just calculate here the like that. This is adding them. But I also need to know how many there are because I need to average the locations. So after this for loop, I need to divide not by the data length, by the some count. Every time I'm inside of this loop, I found something useful, so I'm also going to, yeah, increase the count. And now dividing this gives me the average location. And I should be able to draw something there. Okay, it wants me to draw an arc. Let's do that for now and then replace it with that image of the Dragon Ball we have from previously. So it doesn't work. Ah, it doesn't work because it puts the image data afterwards. So the image data will overwrite the red thing that I'm doing there. So now I have this center location there, this center issue. Mm-hmm. Yeah, positioning and scaling the image is an issue. We'll figure it out. But my other issue is that this drawing that is appearing now, I mean, the circle is over the image, and I would like it to be behind the image so that my hands can be in front of it too. Another issue might be that the center of mass of this that I'm calculating is not necessarily in the circles, in the ball center, see? So this may not always work, but if I show it kind of nicely like this, it should work. The way to make it work like that would be something that some people tried in that competition I hosted with the pendulum, this ball. They were trying to figure out the balancing location, this support at the top that was holding the string, and they were doing a kind of circle mapping. Uh, so if you see just half of the circle here, you can figure out that this circle should continue on the other side, and then because you're looking for a circle, and then use the center of that. But it's more complex to detect, and I don't want to spend time on that now. Two space indenting. Yeah, I don't know why it's like that. I normally don't have it like that. I think I changed some things with this VS Code because I was coding some other language and it affected. It's not my typical setting here. Yeah, most extreme X and Y from center, but that still wouldn't work in this case because, yeah. It would work in cases like this uh, where the extremes are still here, but the other method seems to work quite fine as well. Okay, but I have some issues here. So the first issue, how to get this image data over this. This is over this red ball. And let's make this a little bit bigger, 50. I have there some dots appearing because that blueness calculation is not perfect. The threshold needs to be adjusted a bit. But now I want it to be behind my fingers. So putting the image data after that doesn't work because it's going to block the red ball. It just reputs the whole image data on top of it. So I think I need a temporary canvas for that. It's weird that this GitHub Copilot seems to be using a 4-character indent, and then my VS Code and this prettier is using 2, so something is really messed up. But I don't care right now. So I would like to put the image data on this temporary canvas first. Like so. And then here, instead of put image data, I would say draw image from the temporary canvas. And this is going to preserve the alpha values from here over the red ball. Yeah, it's something. Why is the ball blue? Is it because we are drawing first on the canvas? If I don't want that to be visible there, I have to do a clear before drawing the red ball. So now my hands are in front of it, my fingers are in front of it, kind of okay. The radius is off. Radius should change also with the ball. So let's try. Let's try that min-max value. Min is going to start at canvas width and something like that. And now with these values, I can get the ball center in a different way. I don't need the count anymore. Like that. And the radius. Sure. I need to choose one. It's not gonna be perfectly disc shaped. So let's keep the max there. And then the radius here goes like that. And I have an error. Oh, negative radius. Really? How is this possible? I don't know. Oh, I think it's because we didn't find any pixels or something like that. Yeah, min and max are still to the maximum values and minimum values. So I need to have something here. Something, but not perfect. Okay. Settings, indent spaces from 4 to 2. But I want to use 4. So how can I tell Prettier to use this? To use this 4. Yeah, max minus min should be positive or 0, so having it negative there only makes sense if we don't have any blue pixels to work with, so I fixed it some other way. I mean, in big projects, definitely I don't remember everything, and then it's confusing. But in this one, it's so short and it ends really quickly, so uh, I know what is happening there. Yeah, I did do big minus small. Mm, I think it works. I think it works. It's just that here the radius is now a little bit strange. So if I put times 0.5, sometimes I'm getting those jumps. But you can see here half the radius and then this. The reason why I'm getting those jumps are those pixels here at the bottom. Sometimes you can see some flickering happening here because my threshold is too low. So 50 again. It's more stable than before. Sometimes still values like that appear. Let's set it to 60, at least in my room here, and with this lighting it makes a difference. Now it's fine. Let's see if we can put the image of the Dragon Ball instead. So I'm gonna load it as a global variable somewhere here because I don't want it to load every time. And then something like this. Error, it crashed. Okay, what happened? It's this it's this course related issue because I'm trying to work with the file with an image file locally here. I think I will have to run a local server if I want to use this image. Mm. So I'm running this locally here and still doesn't work. Oh, okay. Still doesn't work. Even with this. It crashes when I bring in the blue ball. File name is wrong? Oh. Thank you. Okay. Something. We have something. It's still not perfect, but it's something. Wow. Okay. Nice. Mhm. Okay. Prettier tab width. Okay. Thanks. That helped. Oh, wow. Okay, so you moved on from self-driving car to the virtual world. Yeah, that one has probably twice as much coding as the first one, but it's not as exciting, maybe. But it can be very useful stuff. And then the third one after that is about AI stuff. Yeah, I still have to do some things here. So there is this margin effect. I don't like it. Yeah, AI stuff. You know what? I liked it more before, without the image of the Dragon Ball. I want to make it so that the image of the Dragon Ball, that the Dragon Ball itself is dynamic. I want to choose the number of stars. Hi, basic coder. I still remember your fish from the machine learning course that you drew. It was really detailed with the scales and everything. Okay. Yeah. Let's not use the image of the Dragon Ball after all. I don't like having commented out code like this. Usually I don't do that. But now I really don't know what I'm gonna work with. Like I don't like using this image now here. I think this ball center is fine. Don't need this. And we don't need to do the inversion anymore. I think that's fine, but I do want to do the hue shifting, the hue rotate there. I don't want to set this alpha to 0, but I do still need to calculate the XY location because that's where the star is going to go, or star configuration. So I need that. And we already calculate the ball center some other way now using the min and max here. And then here, instead of the draw image, I just want to draw an arc as before, and let's keep it half the radius for testing. Let's see if everything here still works. So orange ball there, I think we can handle it with lower threshold. This looks better. But where is the circle? The circle is not appearing again because it's now the pixels are not transparent. So now these so now this would go over, at least for now. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's too sensitive to those pixels at the bottom here. It needs to consider those less. So I'm going to actually go back to the previous implementation that we had and that count. And here, not rely on the ball min and max. And at the end, here, because if count is 0, then I can't divide by count. So actually I can use that there, and I don't need this weird OK variable anymore. So I'm using now again the method from previously to define the center, but the radius doesn't work anymore because it was based on the min and max. So what I want to do is make it based on the count instead. Like that. Yeah, let's try it this way. Okay. Much more stable, but these this star that now looks like a circle, threshold 55. I think I lowered it already. Yeah. Thanks. So I have this issue now that I do need the image to be transparent. Yeah, I'm going to do here this. I'm going to say ctx put image data. So this is it with the orange. No. So if it's blue enough, then I want to make it transparent. Then put that image data somewhere. Actually, let's do both. Let's make the pixel transparent, but also do the shifted hue value like this. And now this is transparent. So putting it on the temporary canvas, it's gonna give us something transparent there. But I also want to put it on the real canvas. So after we make it non-transparent, if that makes any sense. So I want to loop now through all of it again, like this, and data of I plus 3, I want to set it to be opaque again. And now I'm going to say put image data like so, and then draw the red shape, and then draw whatever was on the temporary canvas. And if I don't have any errors, now my fingers go in front of that ball, and it's orange again. Okay. Ooh, the blueness just is a quick thing here, and maybe it's not the best way to do it. Before we were talking about maybe using the hue value and defining the range, the hue range, and looking for that, but this gives me some kind of normalized value for the hue, and I'm used to these values here. Like 0, 60, 120, and so on. So now we could look also for this range here, but it's normalized, and I don't know what it would be. Maybe 0 0.5, 0 0.7, or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I'm using AI here, and here I had a lot of issues with the code that it generated. Something didn't work, and then the way it looked bothered me for several reasons, so I still had to fix it. At the moment, I think you also need to understand what it's doing and understand when it's making mistakes. So you can't do these things unless you know how to code already. I think it's speeding up the coding and might reduce the need for some people. Companies also always have this kind of idea that I want to hire somebody with years of experience, but junior level somehow, and that's like not really possible. So you can't become somebody with experience unless you do become a junior first, and so on. So I just think that we will become better at making projects faster and figuring out bugs and things like that by relying on automation. We've been using automation all the time for many years. Like these IDEs auto-generate code for you, and that reduces typos and mistakes that could use you many hours of work. So we already have tools that we use to code faster. And these are useful, but unless you host the LLM locally, then you might have issues with privacy. So there are companies that can't use those AI tools um, available online because you can't paste code there that is important. So there are many things. Uh, yeah, sure, it's something to enhance the workflow, but I think the question there is more profound. Like, okay, now it's like that, but what would happen after 5 years or 10 years or something like this? So hard to say, but coding is just one of the things that it's doing good. So the problem is bigger. What will people be working on and so on? If these tools are able to do things better than the people and faster and so on. So yeah, very exciting times. But people have always changed. Like life today is very different from life 20 years ago. Uh, 20 years ago didn't have smartphones, and now everyone is linked to them in some way. Uh, so it's kind of hard to believe you don't have one, even though I personally don't like using mine much. Um, I still need it for all kind of stuff like bank and social networking and so on. So yeah, and of course that also changed the uh, jobs back then. Like you have apps for everything now, apps for using your bank, apps for whatever, and there used to be more people at the bank. And if you order some food or if you uh, do different things with your phone, it reduces some jobs. It has reduced jobs all the time, and it has made people focus on other things. So uh, I think stable jobs are those that require some kind of hands-on work, like operating machinery and so on. But otherwise, intellectual stuff may become um, replaced in some way. But then again, you also see the news, like things like the generative AI things, making art, and copyright issues appear, um, copyright privacy issues appear. I mean, people could do those also before the AI, and that was frowned upon. So that was bad. And now AI is demonstrating some things, but some of those things shouldn't be allowed. And also, they can't seem to. Oh, okay. We have some test here, I think. Yeah, and they also can't seem to generate something outside of the context. So something really new. Uh, sure, you could tell it do something, that person in some situation, and it's gonna do a good job putting a specific character in a situation they never been before. But it's not the same as creating something new. And the viewpoint is also something you just can't specify well enough. So the result that you get is whatever it wants it to be. And I don't know. I don't know about those definitions. This AGI, super intelligence. I don't care about those words. They just mean different things to different people. Um, I already think that what these large language models are doing is should be called super intelligence, because if I ask it things from many different topics, it's able to reply very often correctly. And nobody knows good things about many things about biology, about astronomy, about physics, about math, about literature, about everything. It's already super in a way that it can reply with usually good things about so many different topics that are not related. So, of course, AGI typically relates to this idea of consciousness and also, and then you have the problem of defining what is consciousness and are we conscious? Do we make the decisions ourselves, or is this somehow all our decisions are caused by something? It's becoming very philosophical, and I don't know how to talk about those things. I don't know enough. But it's interesting to see people talking about it, and yeah. hmm Problem with this ancient backend infrastructure is that you don't have resources for it to learn from. I mean, it's good at working with new technology because Stack Overflow and similar websites are full of samples of people having issues and people giving answers to things. And there might not be so many Fortran related questions on those websites. So the body of data it's been trained on doesn't contain answers to those, and it wouldn't know. Uh, so, yeah, seems like Nick there wants to have a solution for something, and I don't think it's coming. Uh, yeah. Anyway, where was I? What am I doing here? Dragon Ball. Okay, ball is there. I want that to be a star. So star instead of this here. Draw star at on the CTX at the ball center radius and I don't need the temporary canvas. And now this draw star function let's just replace it with the what we had previously. So everything still works. But here I want it to know already what is the correct radius to use. So maybe times 0.4, like so, and no more weird scaling happening there. Okay. And now this is not a star, so we have to make it one. Um, okay. It's a pentagon. But not bad. Not bad. Uh, 10. 10 also here. Now it's a, is it a decagon? Is that a word? Yeah. Now it's a decagon. So to something. Actually, it's pretty good. Should point upwards, or I don't know. Should be red. It should be inside the ball, right? So somehow I would like part of this orange to be over it as well. Maybe originally when we make this temporary image here, we don't set the alpha to 0, but we set it to something in the middle, like 100. And now, I don't know if you can tell, but it is somehow behind some of this orange thing. So if I put here, for example, 150, it's going to be even harder to see the star. It's fading away even more. And 200 would fade even more because some of this orange is going over that. I don't know if this effect is overkill, but I think it's a little bit better than just having the star there. Okay, the size of it seems to be fine. But I want to have this kind of multiple stars as well. Let's check the chat a little bit. Yeah, that's also something that might happen, like that the AI stuff is as good as it's going to get, but it seems like it is still improving and people like it. And that's something we don't know. Like, is this idea of at least these large language models, is this the thing that does the predictions and decisions for us, or should it be some different approach? I don't know. Equals, double equals, and triple equals. I think the triple equals considers the type as well. So this 1 equals to 1 in this quotes is going to be true, but 1 triple equals to 1. It's going to be false because this is a string and this is an integer. I mean, the star is already in the center. When I do this, the effect kind of breaks and it moves there. I could do that thing with figuring out that this should be a circle in these situations because this roundness here kind of makes me want to fit a circle over it somehow. But I'm not going to bother with that. What I want to do is add the constellations and make it glow. So by constellations, I mean I want to specify how many stars this should have. So let's have a global variable here at the top. Let's say 5. And here, draw stars. Draw star is actually just fine, but draw stars. Center radius is one thing, and then count. Okay, it wants to do something. This is impressive. Now, something here will probably need to be changed, but let's just see what it's doing. Same as before, so nothing really. Oh, draw stars. Error. Draw stars is not defined. Draw stars. Okay, that's not perfect, but it's good. Okay. Let's try with all the values. So let's try 1. Not great. Let's try 2. It's pretty okay. 3. Also okay. 4. I think it's fine. 5. It's fine. Or there could be 1 in the middle and then 4 on the side. I think this is fine. And then 6. I don't like this one. I think this should be like 5, but with 1 in the middle. And 7. Yeah. Maybe like 6 now, but with 1 in the middle. Okay. Messy code time. So this is now draw stars in circle, and draw stars is going to be switch. If it's 1, then I just draw a star like that and break. If it's 2, it was fine with this circle. 3 also fine. 4 also fine. 5, it was also fine. So draw stars in a circle in this way. Now 6, I would like to draw stars in a circle, but just 5 stars, so count -1. And then also a star in the middle, like this. And break. And then 7. I don't want 2 stars in the middle. I want actually same like here and 1 in the middle. So let's try now to see how it works. Okay, problem is with this size of the star in the middle, it's much bigger. This draw stars should have radius for the outside, like for the outside circle, and a radius for the inside circle, really. But I'm just going to say here times 0.4. So this is now 7. 6. Yeah. 5. I think this is fine. Or I can do 4 and 1 in the middle. I really don't know. 4. It's fine, I think. 3. 2. and 1. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to change the name of the function. um, yeah. Deform. Oh, to be the surface of a sphere. But they're supposed to be inside the sphere, so I don't need to worry about that. I guess you could deform it in a way similar as I have this one tutorial on the it was around some Christmas time. This one. It was making you appear on this kind of Christmas decoration, and it did have this kind of warp effect. So you could do something like that, and make it do that. But really, in the show, they were always supposed to be always facing the camera somehow. It had this kind of very simplistic aspect to it. Maybe the star can be a little bit bigger. I'm gonna take out these parameters. Mm. Star scaling factor. Should be actually 2 of them, but this code is messy, but I don't plan to make any kind of continuation to this, so I'm not going to worry about um, formatting it or refactoring it in any way. Aha, and I accidentally changed the shape of the star. So this I liked the 0.4 as before. This is fine, I think. And I want maybe the star to be more visible because now this alpha here is too much. Maybe 90. This is better now. And let's try again with the others. Let's have an interface for it. So we can put here a select and then that. I don't like it. I think the stars are too big. And too close to each other, so maybe that scaling factor should be 45 or something like that. Yeah, this is fine. I think this is nice. And my fingers go over the stars, and there's a little bit of this, like the stars go on the side of the circle, so if you do check that competition I made with the pendulum and see the solutions from those who participated, there is this kind of circle matching there, like trying to find the best fit circle for this arc here, and you could do that, but it's not easy. um, it's also made for the whole pendulum rotation, so not for the ball itself, but you could do it. Yeah, I did change the number of stars with not a button, but the drop down method, a drop down component. So let's have it under that. And do I need anything else? Maybe this threshold is also something that we should modify somehow. So process this and I don't need an on change for this one. I'm just going to give it an ID and take the value here. So this should make it easier to work when if you want to try this in your own room and you will have different lighting conditions, things like that, selecting the threshold for it to work. But what I still want to do is a little bit of a glow effect around it. I think it's going to mask these borders here. So yeah, let's do that. And I think that I'm going to not spend too much more time here. Yeah, doing doubling the radius in the draw stars and yeah. Yeah, the perspective is weird in the show. It's made always so that the stars are looking at you, even if you move the ball like that. I like it. I think it's a nice thing because mm, you will find replicas of Dragon Balls that you can buy in supermarkets or whatever, in stores, special stores. And they look really great. But whenever you rotate like that, the stars just rotate with them. Like if you turn it like this, you will just see one line instead of the stars, and they look fake because in the show they do look like the one I have here. So actually, this what I'm doing now, it's a more accurate representation of how they are supposed to look like. That's why I'm not sad about how it looks. I like how it looks. The only thing I don't like is the edges here. They are a little bit fuzzy. This pixelation happening where my fingers are touching it, and I'm wondering if I can do something about that. I could do some morphological dilation and then color it like that, but I don't want to spend so much brain power on coding that one, and I don't think that this Copilot can help me out. It's more complex, and then the basic implementation is easy, but then making it efficient so that it runs on every frame, it needs some hacks, some pixel matrix operations, and some keeping sums of pixels in another matrix to do it efficiently. It's too much, too tedious. So I don't do the morphological dilation. That would help for these pixels here where the finger goes inside like that. But I'm happy just to add a glow around it, and I think that that's going to mask enough of these issues so that it will look good anyway. I think so. Anyway, I'm really happy with the result already now, so it's not a failure. At least I had worries about it, to be honest. Okay, so how do you do the glow? Now I'm just drawing the stars there, and then I'm putting this transparent canvas there. The glow should be on top of everything, I think. Radial gradient, yeah, with the ball center. So starting, let's see where we started, but let's add also the color stops. So the first one, transparent white to white, and then sets the fill style, does an arc, does the fill. This should do something. Wow! It's over my fingers and it doesn't look great. But when I did this, and I was holding it in this way, I somehow liked this effect really much. Like, yeah, but it disappears. The effect somehow disappears when my fingers go over it, and then this gradient doesn't match anymore perfectly. Yeah. Anyway, this is not what I want to do here. So I want the radius for the gradient to be, and the circle to be a little bit bigger. And let's say delta radius is ball radius times something like that. And this would start at the ball. Ball radius minus delta radius and ball radius plus delta radius. Divided by 2. So the delta would be on both sides. And then here ball radius plus delta radius divided by 2. And then here the first color stop, it's should be a transparent value, but I think it should be orange. The second one and the third one should be also transparent like before. So something like that. But a bigger delta. Something like that. And then the transparency here, it shouldn't be fully visible. Yeah, that's nice. And maybe not orange, but maybe yellow. I think it gives a nice effect. So removing the blue component from here. Something like that. It does become a little bit bad when I do this. It would really need that circle thing. Oh, do I want to implement that? I don't know how to do it, and it would be a lot of guessing. And it would also be slow. Let's see how it looks like if the glow is below my fingers. It's not nice because if it's below, it doesn't extend anymore. Uh, like here, you can see it on both sides, but if it's like this, it doesn't go outside of the ball. So the glow needs to be above the fingers, and it's fine to be like this. I mean, I like how it looks like. 0.15 for transparency. Yeah. If it's 15, it's going to be very subtle, and I don't think it blocks. Yeah, it doesn't block those pixelated things on the side. So I actually prefer it to be 0.5 maybe there. I think this looks really nice. The only issue I have is this. It doesn't look good. Um, so if I do too much, yeah, not good. 0.25. I still see again those pixels appearing there. I think 0.5 is fine. Somehow I like this. Let's try with multiple stars as well. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. I like this. I like the end result. Should I try to make it match the circle there? I don't even know the center point of the circle, so I can't play around with the radius and calculate some kind of error factor. I also need to move the center location somehow. And I need a way to measure correctness, like how good is this circle. Um, that we are deciding here on top of it. This is not a good circle. A better one would be bigger because I don't know why. So one with the center here and the radius bigger like this. That would be better in my view, and I think everybody's view. But what would mathematically define that as a better circle? here it's clear the blue pixels are inside of it and nothing else is inside of it. But when we have this, now some blue pixels are outside of it. Can it be that easy? Should we just find the circle, the minimum size circle that fits all the blue pixels in it? Is this a definition that works? So finding a circle that fits all the blue pixels and is as small as possible, because this circle doesn't fit all the blue pixels. There are also those kind of errors, like the pixels that appear in different parts of the screen because the blueness, the way I measure it, is not very well defined. Yeah, good luck with the geometry textbook. I would still have about half an hour trying to do this, but so we have a starting point, definitely. We have a starting point where this circle is right now detected. And that's where we could do still a local search. So we could still do a local search around those locations. And anytime we find a circle that is containing more of the blue, we would keep that one. It's okay if it contains something else, like here my hand is not blue, so it should contain part of my hand there. But it also shouldn't grow too much. Like if it grows a lot, it's going to be containing everything in the screen, and that's not good either. So anytime we try an increase of the circle size, we want to look in the neighborhood and try to find a position that yeah, the origin would be off. But think about it like this. So if this circle that we have now would be allowed to grow and move, eventually it's going to find that circle that looks like my hand now. And the only cost that I want to add to this, to make this a simple thing, it's a two parameter optimization problem, where one of them is the size of the circle and the other is the amount of blue pixels inside it. So I want to minimize the size of the circle and also maximize the number of blue pixels inside it. But I don't want to increase the size of the circle too much. So let's try some crazy stuff. So this is only for the last part here, for this. Actually, no, it's also for the stars. So we need a function get better circle. And we give it an input, the starting location of the ball and the radius, and get better circle properties. And here we say like that. And now these will be center, 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 radius, 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 center, center. And now get better circle properties. Let's just have it like this for now and see if it still works. It still works. So I want to calculate here a new center. And these will be the things that we return here. Oh, good point. Glow in shape of arc instead of circle. Let's see. Because, oh. Because maybe what I'm doing now wouldn't be good. Yeah, I mean, if we do that and we match the circle, we're gonna get the location of the star correct, and that's something we need. But this glow that happens here, this would be glowing also over my hand. So that's not what we really want. Even if I find a better location for the star, that's part of the problem solved. So the star wouldn't go away like that anymore. It would stay here. But then I still need to find a solution for the glow. And the only thing I can think about is doing a morphological dilation over this shape here. Yeah. Anyway, I still want to play a little bit with this algorithm for finding a better circle location. Yeah, that's what I will do. I will iterate through XY values and the radius. So I will do a local search for the center and for the radius somehow and keep the better result. But I need a way to measure how good the result is. So I need a function that gives me that. How good is this result? And when I'm getting these properties, I do have something with... I need these blue pixels to work with, these XY values here. So right, because that's what is gonna give us that's what's gonna give us the error. So let's measure it here. From the I don't think I need this this CTX anymore because I have the center radius and the blue pixels. So compute error is going to give us okay, it takes out the X and Y here. And then no. The distance to the center. Yeah, okay, that's good. Error is the absolute of this. No. error is only if the distance to the center is bigger than the radius. It wants me to give a penalty for the error based on that. I guess it's possible. Let's do what it says. I just thought of increasing it by 1 because it's 1 pixel outside. But this might be a better idea. And having here, instead of the square root there, comparison against the radius squared is going to give us a more efficient measure. And this will be a slow thing, so we need to make as efficient as possible. So now we get an error here, and let's output it. Let's see what errors we are getting. Well, that's a very big number there. Let's try to add here just 1, because when it's like this, the number should be really small. But when it's like this, so like this, the number should be really small because this is a ball and it's almost like a circle there. But when it's like this, you can see those numbers getting bigger and bigger because there are these extra pixels outside of that. Now, I wonder if this should be normalized to the number of blue pixels in general. I think so. I think that we want the error to be this divided by blue pixels length. And now we get the value that is almost 0 like this. And when we do this, like this is almost half, because half of the pixels are inside it and half of the pixels are outside it. So this is important because it's going to tell us that half the pixels are wrong if I'm close to this, and if I'm far away to this number there doesn't change. So it's irrelevant what the size of, how close I keep the ball, I still get the same kind of error there. Bounds of the blue for within the circle. Yeah, we had that before, but it was a problem because of those extra pixels with the threshold, and I really want to include as many as possible. And then use this. Those in the bottom don't bother us anymore because we compute the radius of the circle based on the number, and there are so few of them that they don't matter. The majority are here. To use the arc angle for the visible parts of the circle. I could use something like that, yeah. But I mean, it doesn't match. Like here, the circle doesn't match that. Error plus distance minus the radius squared. Yeah, I ignore that. I don't want the error to be like this pixel is a bad one, this is a bad one, and I don't care if one is further than the other. But now that I have a way to compute the error, I can just do a trial and error here. It's gonna, if I do it a very and relocate the new center. So first thing what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to increase the radius. Mm. Let's first do a very simple thing. While dangerous. um, while the previous error is the error should get less. Let's just say -1 there. While the previous error is greater than error, new radius, we just increase it by 1. And compute error is going to be a new value here. And then that. Oh, wait, this error is between 0 and 1 now, so this doesn't make sense. So, well, new error is no, I liked the previous approach more. So I have an error and I want this error to go down. So I will increase the radius and I will recompute the error. And this error should go down by just increasing the radius because it's going to have more of those points in it. This needs to be higher. This needs to be 1. So it's a different effect that I'm having now. You can see the size of the circle is the correct size. It's just off center. And the size of the star is the correct size. It's just off center. It's different than what we had before, definitely. So without this, we just had this. The circle becomes smaller and smaller, and the star becomes smaller and smaller. So one problem that we kind of solved is we are finding the correct size of the circle here. It's maybe not the correct size of the circle because it can depend on the angle maybe, or I don't know, but it's better than before. Yeah, good start. Okay. And the other thing that we do is we also try to move the center. I think the way we will approach this is we will have some kind of fixed number of iterations, and that will depend on our processor speed here. But after I increase the size, I want to also check for a better center location. So let's just give a fixed number of iterations for this. Let's say 100 iterations. And have a new candidate center is equal to new center x plus something and new center y plus something. So relative to maybe the let's just give some range here, like yeah, it can go in both directions. It can be bigger. I'm just guessing. So I'm guessing this, and then the candidate center is going to be new center plus this delta x and delta y. And we have to recompute the error with these new ones, with the candidate center here. So candidate error is going to be that. Now, just by moving this towards here, the error isn't going to change. Like if it moves more this way, because the way we calculate error now is just the number of blue pixels inside it. So I also need to measure this outside part. Is this no, it's not going to work because it doesn't care. It doesn't care if it doesn't know that this is my hand. And I really need to fit it somehow to this shape that we have there. So I need another scoring function for how well these fit on the side of the circle. No, I give up. I won't have enough time to figure out the solution for this. The morphological operation would work for the glow so that it maybe respects my fingers here. And maybe I teach morphological operations someday. Maybe I'm gonna make a video about that. But the size of the star would get smaller in this case. Yeah. I am going to leave out all this attempt here. So to do morphological dilation for the blue pixels. Not blue pixels, for the Dragon Ball. For the blue pixels. Yeah, and for now, this just stays like that. And it's not perfect when my fingers go in front of it like this, but I'm happy with it. Line up the tangents. I think it's becoming too complex. So pure geometry approach. I'm not sure what you mean by pure geometry approach. Really, all the computer sees right now is those orange pixels there colored by me. And it needs to figure out that there is a circle behind them somehow. And the way you do that is the error function that I calculated is bad. It just takes into account the count of them. So it needs to also take into account the shape of them, the shape of something that kind of looks like a circle. But it's going to be easily confused by things like this. Like if I do something like this, you know that I'm holding a ball here, but it doesn't. It's going to think that maybe my hand here on the right is the side of the circle, and it's going to try to complement it on this way. So complex solutions like this, not good. The size of that star is something that bothers me. Could we somehow tell it, like, if I'm going to imagine also that I'm going to make a circle here from my, like this with my fingers. It thinks that's the Dragon Ball because it's a ball. It's a blue ball. So that's why the circle is, the star is small and also the circle is small. But you know that I'm holding something bigger here because of the context and you know what I'm trying to do and whatever. I can't get the perfect solution for this unless I tell it the context. And for that, it would need to understand many things, not just blue pixels. But for this and holding it like this, I think it looks really good. Even with my fingers in front of it a little bit, it doesn't matter. But this starts to cause the issues. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it like this. But thanks for all the tips. And for me, it's 2:25 p.m. So I'm gonna leave home soon. Yeah, sure, but I don't know where the origin is. Like, where is the origin here? It's gonna be here, and I just don't know that. I mean, visually, I would know where to put the origin, but yeah. Anyway, my head is exploding. So I'm gonna put this code also online somewhere. Probably link it here in the video description at some point. And if you want to play with it more, then up to you. let's try again with the number of stars. Okay. Yeah. It's good. I think it's a good idea that we end up with this 4-star Dragon Ball here. See you guys.